What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about how you can throw a football harder. So we're going to be talking about the technical elements of your throwing mechanics that give you more velocity on your throws, and then we're going to be discussing some drills that you can do to work on those elements. So I hope it's able to help. Let's get started. Now, before we get into some drills, fellas, let's talk about two mechanical elements that are going to help you generate velocity and throw power, okay? So first one's going to be dissociation. Dissociation is a concept that creates torque with your throwing motion, and torque is velocity, right? Or how you attain velocity. So dissociation is where you separate your upper body from your lower body in your throw. So if I'm trying to throw over here out to the left, what I want to do is when my front foot strikes the ground, like let's say I'm throwing just a simple like slant route over the middle, and I step to my target. When I step, I don't want to do this. I don't want to open up at the exact same time as I step. I don't want to push all my body weight forward same time that I step, because there's no separation. I am a linear thrower at that point rather than a rotational thrower. And quarterbacks are rotational athletes, just like a golfer or just like a baseball player. The way baseball hitters create bat speed, the way golfers create club speed, is the same way that quarterbacks create arm speed and velocity on their throws. And all three of those athletes all produce torque from dissociation. So think of it like a baseball swing. You're in the batter's box, you stride to the pitcher, the bat stays back here. That's what your shoulders and your arms want to do when you throw. So when I stride to the target, what I want to think about is you want to try to keep your knee and your shin completely straight just for a split second. You don't want to stay back there the whole time, but you want to stay there just for a split second. Think your head wants to stay on the back side of your body. Pretend there's an imaginary line going down the middle of your body. We call it the midline. Your head wants to stay, if you're a right-handed quarterback, on the right side of the midline. So you want to step, head stays back, knees stay back. Reason why your weight stays back is that gives you the freedom to rotate your shoulders and dissociate. If you do this, where you push all of your weight forward, see how my knee caves and my shin caves, what happens is I can't rotate my shoulders back. So I just am opening up and I'm losing torque. I'm just pushing the ball in a sense. So we got to make sure we stay back. Head stays back. You want to try to keep your head almost even with your knee. So what you do is you strike the ground, your shoulders rotate back, and you should feel a stretch right here in your core. That stretch is how we produce torque. Because now at this point, what you have to do is you got to try to rotate your back hip through, pivot off your back foot almost, if that helps you, and open up your front hip. And if that hip right there can go through before the shoulder, before the ball, like how a baseball batter steps, hip goes through, bat's trailing behind, that's how we generate power. Now, there's some other elements of the throw on your follow through that help you get more of a snap and more of a whip that we're going to talk about next. Now, before we get into some drills and we talk about the other mechanical elements of velocity, if you're a QB watching this and you would like to train with myself and my staff of coaches, guys, we are going to be traveling out to 5 more cities across the entire U.S. for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camps this spring and summer. Next up on our camp tour, we're going to be coming out to Houston, Texas. That camp, though, guys, is completely sold out. After that, we'll be coming out to Boston, Massachusetts. We have availability there. Then we'll be coming out to Columbus, Ohio. That camp is completely sold out. And then we'll be finishing off our tour in Boise, Idaho, and Los Angeles, California, where we do have availability. So, guys, if you're local to one of those 3 cities that we have open spots, Boston, Boise, or Los Angeles, go to that very first link in the description below. That is where you can sign up and get all information about our camps. The reason why our camps sell out is because we limit spots so we can work with each athlete individually. That's just what I believe in. I believe in athletes need individualized coaching, one-on-one attention, and we do that in a camp setting. It's not like one of these big college camps where there's a million people and we just go as fast as we can. So, guys, if that sounds like a camp you're interested in, you want to attend, go to that very first link in that description below. Let's get back to this video. Now, let's talk about the front shoulder and the front side in your throwing motion to help you generate more of a snap and more rotations and more velocity on the ball. So what a lot of times quarterbacks will do is they'll start out their throwing sequence very, very good. So they'll do the same thing that we just talked about. They'll stride to the target, they'll keep their head back, their shoulders are go, but when their hips start to rotate through, their left shoulder or their front shoulder in their throwing motion starts to pull open, and your hip and your shoulder is rotating at the exact same time, causing your arm to come across. So there's really not much of a snap to your throwing motion. It's hard for us to get to a position called extension, which is when your wrist, elbow, and shoulder are extended to the target. And we're going to give you some drills to work on this too in a second. So what you need to focus on, guys, is that your front side, your front hand needs to almost stay in front of your mouth like you're eating a sandwich, right? You don't eat a sandwich down down here and you don't need to sandwich over here. You need to keep it here, almost like just even with like your nose all the way down to the bottom of your chin. And you want to think you are rotating around that. And you want to try to keep your shoulders parallel to where we want the ball to go. So if I'm throwing this slant over here to the left, I stay back, but I just want my hips to rotate through. I want to be here. I want to snap through and my shoulders stay nice and square, hand stays up by my face, and rotate around this, because that helps keep your arm inside of your frame and you snap. A lot of times QBs, what they'll do is they'll over rotate and their arm widens and they lose that like whippiness to their finish and their follow through, and that is a decrease in velocity. You're still being more, you're just over rotating, if that makes sense. So what we want to do is we want to stay back, weight stays back, foot gets down, hips fire through, and this stays nice and square, hand up by your face. Some guys teach this. You want to touch your left hand to your throwing shoulder. You see guys like Tom Brady throw like that often. That just helps you stay square and rotate around your front shoulder. That's a snap that we need to be able to throw with velocity. So now we're going to get into some great drills that will help you work on those elements we just discussed. Now, first drill we're going to be talking about, you guys, is going to be our straight jacket drill off of a drop. So some of you may have seen this straight jacket drill. We've posted it a couple times on this channel, but maybe not like this off of a drop back. So what this is for is to work on your hips, rotating your shoulders through and staying nice and square in your throwing motion. So it's just working on that sequence of events. Remember, the throwing sequence is stride. When you stride, you're trying to keep your head on the right side of your midline. If you're a lefty, it would be the left side of your midline, but you're trying to keep your head on the right side of your midline, your shoulders rotate back, your hands separate, and the hips whip the shoulders through. So we're trying to replicate that. A lot of times quarterbacks get it twisted. They think the only way that they could get better is by actually just like throwing. There are a lot of mechanical drills that you could do that will put no stress on your arm, that will build a good mechanical foundation, that will translate to on-field work. This specific drill, I do this with every single quarterback that I train, no matter what age they are, mandatory before every single throwing session, because it just puts them in the right mechanical sequence. So all you're going to do is you're going to start with your hands across your chest like this, like what they put like a crazy person in, like a straight jacket, so they can't use their hands. So you're going to be here, you're taking just a simple 3-step drop. You could do a 1-step drop, a 3 and a hitch, any type of drop that you prefer. And all you're going to do, let's say I'm throwing that same, like let's say I'm throwing a post to the left, right? Set, go. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. When you get to your base, it's very, very important that you have your weight loaded on your back leg. That's the thing. A lot of times guys off of a drop, they drop back 1, 2, 3, and they have a lot of weight on their front foot. So the issue is, even if you try to stay back, you physically can't. Even if you're trying to keep the knee straight and the shin straight, you physically can't. Your shoulders can't rotate, and this drill is going to feel awkward. You got to make sure when you hit your 3rd step where you're stacked, head, knee, and foot are back, knee down to your shin is completely straight. Then what you're going to do is you're going to stride. Your shoulders are going to rotate back. You're trying to maintain that straight position. You will not be able to rotate back if you push forward. That's why this drill is so great. You cannot perform this drill if your mechanical base and sequence is flawed. So you take that 3-step drop, we're back here. All it is, you rotate back and have your hips bring your shoulders through, and we're focused on my shoulders. I'm square to the target. Hips and shoulders are parallel to the target, replicating how I would be when I actually release the ball. So again, it's across my chest, 1, 2, 3, make sure I'm back. You could take it nice and slow, rotate those shoulders and have those hips bring the shoulders through. So we're going to show you how to do this full speed. I recommend before throwing workout doing about 15 to 20 reps of this drill per drop that you want to work. So you could do a 3-step, a 1-step, 3 and a hitch, a shuffle drop, anything you prefer, but 15 to 20 reps. We're going to show you how this should look full speed. Now this next drill, fellas, is going to be something called a no stride drill. So this works on us staying back as I stride to get me to that dissociation position, and then obviously your hips rotating through to bring the shoulders through. So we're going to take the front stride completely out of the equation. So whenever we throw, we're in my throwing base, my weight is back, I'm nice and relaxed. When I stride to my target, what are your shoulders supposed to do? You're supposed to rotate back and separate your hands. And you should essentially try to stay shin straight and knee completely still when you go there, just for a split second, and then we rotate through. A lot of guys, what they like to do, and this is what limits their velocity, they're very linear, and they can't even feel themselves doing this. I recommend recording yourself throwing so you can see yourself make this mistake. But a lot of guys will do this. They push forward when their front foot gets down. I can't dissociate like that, fellas. I'm just throwing like a pitcher coming off of a mound almost. We want to be rotational. It's a baseball swing, not a baseball throw. So this drill takes that out of the equation. You physically can't do that on this drill. So your front foot is going to be open like you've already taken a step to the target. Maybe set up a target 10 to 12 yards in front of you. Weight's going to be back. You're nice and relaxed with your shoulders, and all you're going to do is you're going to rotate your shoulders and separate your hands, but keeping that shin nice and still. And as soon as you feel yourself separate, all you're going to do is you're going to rotate through with your hips and throw without this front foot moving. So we're taking the front stride out of the equation, because that's essentially how it should feel when we throw normally, you guys. So we're just practicing that mechanical sequence. So nice and relaxed, shoulders rotate, hands separate. I tell guys, pretend there's a flashlight on your knee. Let's say the sideline is where the camera is. Keep your knee, keep your flashlight pointed towards the sideline. So you're here, here, here. So we're going to show you how that drill should look full speed. Same thing. I recommend about 15 to 20 reps of this drill before a throwing workout.